Rudin was penurious. He could not even make a subsistence living from his spiritual endeavors, so he had to hire himself out as a cook. So he found employment with a very rich man who happened to be renowned as a very great miser. And after a few days of employment, he was stopped by the gatekeeper at the gate, who said to him, "Oh, Mullah, you have to be very careful of this old man. He's a miser and he's tricky. He'll trick you and then he'll fire you and you'll be left without a penny." And sure enough, after a couple of weeks of employment, Mullah Nasruddin had received no pay. So he was forced to ask the miser for his wages. And of course the miser gloatingly said, well, I'll give you your pay if you can serve me a dinner, and in which the first course is O and the second course is Ah. And if you can't, then I'll sever your employment without a penny. So Mullah Nasruddin took himself off to the kitchen, and these wonderful smells came wafting out into the nose of the miser, who was waiting for his meal. After some time, Mullah came out to the table with a large bowl of steaming soup, the aroma rising up into the nostrils of the miser. And the miser took his spoon and dipped it in the soup and put it up to his lips and went, "Ah! Oh!" as the chili hit his throat. Just then Mullah Nasruddin handed him a glass of iced water, and he said, "Ah." Many years ago, when we really started meditation here, there was someone who used to come up from Cairns regularly to the meditations, but then stopped coming. And one day she was met in the street down in Cairns, and she hastily said, I don't have to come to meditation anymore because I'm living in the moment. But she was grossly overweight and obviously in a state of great agitation. So we stopped to have a little conversation, and it was very clear from her conversation that her life was a right royal mess. I guess one could say so much for living in the moment. Anyway, there was a queen. She was gracious and gentle and beautiful, all things that you would imagine a queen to be. And she had 3 suitors. And those 3 suitors wanted to become her husband, to be wedded to her. And each of these 3 suitors had a great gift. The first suitor had such perception that it could range all over the globe with great insight. And the second suitor had the ability to be able to shoot an arrow that would never miss its mark. And the third suitor had the ability to produce an implement that could take him anywhere in an instant. So it so happened that this queen was abducted by an evil genie, and the 3 men got together to see how they could save her. Now, the first, with his perception, was able to see that she was being kept in a far-off place, in a turret, so forth. One can picture it. And the second, with his arrow, was ready to go and dispose of the genie that had been seen by the first. And the third was able to produce a magic carpet, you might say. So the three of them got on the magic carpet and flew to the turret where the queen was being kept. And, of course, with the arrow that never missed its mark, the genie was able to be disposed of, and the queen was saved. Now, when they came together, the queen asked them, "What reward would you seek from me?" And the first, of course, said, "I seek to be your husband, and I should be your husband because I was the one who perceived where you were so that you were able to be saved." And of course the second said, "Yes, I want to be your husband. I want to be wedded to you, and I should be wedded to you because I had the arrow that was able to dispose of the genie." And of course the third said, "Yes, I want to be wedded to you because I was able to create that which was able to allow us to be taken to where you were and captured." Well, the queen said, "Each of you will be rewarded well, but it must be said that I can only marry the man who has all three gifts together." So, this strange little trilogy. What for you does the queen represent, and the three gifts that these suitors had? How is it relative to what it is that we've been exploring over these last days? The levels of existence, being present, Satchitananda. What does the queen and these three suitors represent for us? What have you discovered about this state where we find ourselves lost? Lost in the experience of the moment, not just living in the moment, but intensely present. Knowing that as soon as we do, there's an absence of self, no separation. Could it be that these three gifts represent the three levels of life or existence? That nitty-gritty level of cause and effect and interaction on that sensory level, the hearing, seeing. And that level of spirit, our intuition, the dreams, the insights, and that level where we recognize that everything is interrelated. There's a distinct awareness of our relationship with everything. What's the Queen? What's the Queen that says, I can only wed the man who has all three qualities, gifts? Looking at this story, this simple story of this lady, we can recognize that it's not just about living in the moment. So we cannot say it's just being in the now. So what is this Queen? What's the key in your life that brings it all together? How?
The heart.
Right? Mm-hmm. The heart.
Because the heart only goes like that when everything is aligned.
Oh, right. And it's real. It's the Queen, you can say. Yeah. What would you call it? What is it that brings it all together in you? What's your Queen? If it's not living in the now, okay, thank you.